Welcome back, everyone, to Lore of the Shadow, where I have reported to Aragorn's Pavilion, and I need to speak with Prince Imrahil.
Aragorn wishes to call a council of the captains.
He wishes to call a council of the captains in order to determine what to do next, but many of those that he desires to have a voice are elsewhere in the fields or in the city. And Darvun of the north and Elfhelm of Rohan are not far from the southwest, if you can hasten their return to the pavilion. I met Legolas the Elf on my way here, and I understand that he is a friend of yours and was a companion of Mithrandir in the north. He spoke fair words to me, and I marvel that his journey brought him to these lands during the time of war. Aragorn will want him to be present as well, and also his friend the dwarf. I did not catch his name, but it seems to me that the elf and dwarf were bonded as friends, and you might not find one without the other. That is unusual in itself, but these are strange times, and we may well find our stronger friendships where we least expect to find them. Alright, so find Elfhelm in the southwest of Aragorn's Pavilion on the Pelennor Fields. Okay, well, fortunately for me, I've got a nice quest arrow pointing the way, assuming, of course, that there aren't any shenanigans going on in the matter. Ah, here's Elfhelm now. Elfhelm and Darvin are deep in conversation, but they look at you as you approach.
The battle is ended. It was a victory hard bought.
Many good men fell upon the fields and will not return to their homes. Alas for Elfmar! Alas for my son! As much as the Elfward as remains mourns for him, I weep with him. This man Darvin was a companion of mighty Golidir, who slew the Olog Thurgroth, though he died in doing so. We have been sharing tales of our fallen, and it has eased my sorrow somewhat, though it cannot cease it. His people appear stern and grim at first, but I have marked that they speak warmly of their friends and their lands for which they hail. Perhaps they are not very different from the men of the markets I supposed. I will seek for more of the leaders of my people and go to the Ranger's Pavilion at once. Right, and let's see what Darvin has to say.
I am happy you survived. So many of our friends did not.
Loyal Halbrand, weary Golidir, young Kelarent, I feel their loss keenly. 8 of my brothers fell upon the Pelennor in service of Aragorn, but if they had the choice of fighting for him once again, you would find 8 minds unchanged. I'll continue on this pavilion, Pinelore, and no matter his command, I will see it done. Alright, now I need to find Legolas and Gimli at the city gates of Minas Tirith. Well, seeing that I had come from the city gates, I should be able to find them without too much trouble, especially with the arrow pointing the way. Yeah, that looks like a city gate to me. And that's the pier, which would be above the city gates. But the city gates are not exactly in great shape after the ravages of the war. Yeah, the gates have definitely seen better days. Ah, here they are, Legolas and Gimli. Hello there.
We have been to see Merry, where he lies in the houses of healing.
I am pleased to report that Merry will survive his wounds. We spoke with him for a time and rested upon the wall. He is weary, but the worst seems to be behind him. Have you taken the opportunity to explore the city, Pinelore? I have been inside it, yeah. It is impressive, but there are not enough gardens here, and the folks suffer from their lack. They need more that is green and growing. If Aradorn does claim his crown, my people will bring him birds to sing and trees to thrive, and this will be a better city for their presence. We are on our way back to Aragorn's pavilion. I'm eager to learn what he has chosen for our next course. Okay. And what about you, Gimli?
My axe is not yet on its fill.
Now that the battle is done, I've taken a good look at the stonework of the city. Some of it is finely made, but there is plenty of careless stonework as well, and I see much that might be improved to the layout of the streets. Oh, do not mistake me. Any dwarf will see the same. Oh, where shall we go next? My axe has not yet had its fill, and I will wield it on behalf of Aragorn wherever he deems it most needed. Okay, well, I guess that means back to Aragorn. I wonder how many horses are needed in order to carry everything that's required to raise that tent. What do you say?
The battle is won, but time is short.
Time is short. Well, I suppose so.
Some things that were kept secret must now be revealed.
A decision made without all of the information is undermined even as it is made, Pinelore. When we meet in council, some things that were kept secret must be revealed if we are to properly weigh our choices. I hope that you will think no less of me for keeping these secrets, my friend. You are a good friend and true, and if I kept you in the dark, I do not so only at a time that I thought was needed. Speak with me when you are ready to meet. All right, it is time for us to head out and find out what our plans are.
Aragorn has called for a council to determine his next course of action. May wisdom guide his steps.
This way, Pinelore, I think it'll soon start. Yes. All right. Hello there. The captains who fought on the Pelennor are here now, Pinelore, and it is time for us to begin. All right. Greetings, my lords and friend captains of the soldiers assembled on the Pelennor. We have won a great battle, but now we have a choice to make. Much rests upon our decision. Of what decision do you speak, Aragorn? Mithrandir will explain it all to us, that we may choose aright. Okay. You remember the words of Denethor Pinelore. In them, I think that there is much that we might learn. Yes, the Steward of Gondor had much to say about the dangers that threaten us. He claimed that the victory of the Pelennor might last an hour or a day, but that we could not hope for a lasting victory against the power that rules in Mordor. Denethor fell into despair at the sight of Sauron's armies in the depths of the Seeing Stone. We must not despair as he did, though it took all our strength to fight back the first assault. The next assault will be greater than the last. Sooner or later, one will come that we have not the power to defend. Denethor was right. Strength of arms will not bring us victory. What then can we do? We cannot achieve victory. Would you advise us to hide behind our walls, enduring siege after siege until we can last no longer? You would have us retreat to Minas Tirith or Dol Amroth or Dunharrow and wait for the end? I will not play like a child with a sandcastle, waiting in fear until the tide comes in. Yet that is exactly what Gondor did during the days of Denethor. Watching, waiting, doing nothing. Do not misunderstand me. I still hope for victory, but not through battle. Into this debate must come the ring of power, for it is central to this matter. You know enough of this thing to understand our danger, my lords. If Sauron regains the ring that he has lost, his victory will be complete. Your valorous deeds will come to naught. But if the ring is destroyed, his fall will be swift and total. A great evil of this world will be gone. Sauron will be no more. Sauron knows all of this. He knows that the ring he lost has been found again, but he knows not where it is now. The greatest fear is that we have found it, and that there were those among us with the strength to wield it. Am I right to think that you revealed yourself to him, Aragorn? Yes, my friend? Before I rode from the Hornburg, I deemed the time was ripe to use the Stone of Orthanc. Saruman's Seeing Stone? I believed that the stone had come into my possession for that very purpose. 10 days had passed since the ring-bearer went east from Rauros. I thought it would be meet to draw Sauron's gaze to me and away from his own lands. Had I known how swift would be his response, perhaps I should have waited. And yet, that swiftness proved an error. He did not crush Gondor with that first throw. Aye, that is so. To say is hopeless for the attack Sauron if he has the ring, but why should he not feel the same if he thinks that we have it? There are some considerations that may slow his hand. The ring can only be wielded by one, rather than by many. Sauron will expect a struggle amongst those who seek to wield it. He waits until one among us seeks to become greater than the others, and that is when he will act, seizing the advantage of our disarray. His Nazgûl still fly overhead, seeking signs of our movement. He hasn't forgotten the sword of Elendil, and now he has seen it reforged. His first assault was turned back, and his greatest captain slain. The winds of fortune have begun to blow in our favor. For the first time, doubt has begun to gnaw at him. We do not have the ring. Though either wisdom through folly, it has been sent away to be destroyed, lest it destroy us. Without it, we cannot defeat Sauron by force. This, then, is my counsel. We keep Sauron's eye fixed upon us and blind him to his true peril. We march out to meet him, making ourselves the bait. He will see this as the prideful action of a new Lord of the Ring. He will empty his lands seeking to destroy this young upstart and take it back. giving Frodo his chance. It's a trap, not for us, but for the Dark Lord. Well, it's a brazen trap, that's for sure. Legolas is right. We seek to capture Sauron's attention and keep it fastened upon us for as long as we can, but do not misunderstand. If we march to the Black Gate, there will be nothing to keep him from sending the considerable forces within Mordor to crush us completely and without mercy. We will buy time for the Ring-Bearer to complete his mission, but there will be no more time for us. Any who go with me on the last march should know that goes to their death. There will likely be no returning from this. Still, I consider this to be my duty to try. I do not claim to command any man in this. Let each make the choice as he will. We came from Eladris with this purpose. We will not turn back. I do not know much about these dealings, but I know this. My friend Aragorn aided my people when they needed him. I now will aid him. Aragorn is my king, whether he claims it or no. His wish is a command to me. But the city must not be undefended behind us. Well, what do you say about that? We do not need a great force to march to the Black Gate. This is not an army with designs for victory. We will determine the numbers to bring east and the numbers that we will leave behind. May this be the right choice, Pinelore. I would rather die doing my part to bring about a new age than do nothing and know that the new age will never come. So, what's the plan?
This is not the easy decision, but I think it is the right one.
We cannot defeat Sauron in battle, but we must draw his gaze and keep it upon us for as long as we can. All our hopes lie now on Frodo and Sam, and we must do what we can to aid them from afar. Alright, and we get a cloak for this. Cloak of the Settled Mind. Alright. Not very impressive if you ask me. Oh, it has a lot of vitality. That's the reason why the will is so low. Okay.
So it is decided.
It's decided for better or for worse. The men that I sent marching through Lossark from Pelargir have drawn nigh to the city. So too have the men that I commanded to follow the Corsair ships and smaller watercraft up the Anduin. They loiter now, waiting for orders. Let us give them direction, and hope that they make good on their word when they find that direction is east towards the shadow. Take this call for soldiers, and read it to the heralds on the field and throughout the first circle of the city. The heralds will then bring the message to the waiting soldiers, and float the number of men that will march with us. Okay, so find the herald northwest of Aragorn's pavilion. 0 soldiers pledged to Aragorn. Well, we're going to need more than 0 soldiers if we are going to handle this, right? Okay, let's see if we can get more than 0 that would be willing to answer. Is that the herald? No, that looks like a ranger. There's got to be a herald around here somewhere. Still up a little bit ahead. Those are orcs, aren't they? What are orcs still doing around here? Oh, I guess that's our herald. Well then, how about we first deal with these straggler orcs? Oh, no wonder it's an archer. I was wondering, why is that orc staying back? Because it's trying to poke me with holes! That's why. Whack. There we go. Now, the herald waits for your message. All right. Let's read the message. I will find many soldiers for the King Elessar. So it vouches for a number of soldiers. 462 soldiers pledged to Aragorn. Hey, that's a good start. Here's a herald outside the gates of Minas Tirith. Let's see what she has to say. King Elessar will have the men that he needs. The herald vouches for a number of soldiers. So now we have 1,450 soldiers pledged to Aragorn. All right. We almost have 1,500 soldiers. That's good. So let's find another herald inside the city gates of Minas Tirith. Very deep inside or just barely inside? Guess we'll know in a moment. Does anybody here look like they're a herald? Is that a herald? The herald awaits your message. Yeah, this is a herald of Gondor. Alright, here's the message. I will bring this message throughout the city. A herald vouches for a number of soldiers in Aragorn's army. So now we have 1978. Okay, we are just short of 2,000. We'll now find the Northern Herald from the city gate. Now let's find the next herald. See, Amlon is fortunate that I found him when I did, for his wounds were grievous. Oh boy. So Amlon has survived, I guess that means. That looks like a herald just up ahead. There we go. King Elessar will have his soldiers. Alright, good. 2,007. What a wimpy number. And find the herald northwest of the city gate at the first circle. Well, let's see if the next herald has more than that. I mean, we're just under 2,000, now we're just above 2,000. Well, at least we've made it to 2,000. Now, let's see if we can find more soldiers. Here is the next soldier. Cangleem. Oh, read it. The herald vouches a number of soldiers. Now we have 2021. 19 soldiers. How disappointing. I have 21 soldiers already.
Speak to my other commanders. Learn how large a host we have assembled.
More than 2,000, you say? That's very good, and matches my hopes. These other commanders have also done work to gather soldiers for the march. Speak to them to see how large a host that we may assemble. It need not be enough to wage war upon Mordor, but it must be large enough to threaten battle. Alright, so we need to talk to Prince Imrahil, Eomer, and Elfhelm. Okay, and here is Eomer.
Rohan will not abandon her friends.
Much has been asked of my men already, but Rohan will not abandon her friends. Many among the Rohirrim were unhorsed during the battle lately ended, but they are still war-worthy and will not let us stay their weapons. 500 of these will follow behind, and I will lead 500 on horse alongside. Alright, so now we're up to 3,000. Okay, Prince Imrahil. What does he have?
This must be the greatest jest in all the history of Gondor.
My swan knights have scoured the nearby lands of Gondor for fighting men. They report that 3,500 will march for Mordor with Aragorn. It is as fine a total as for any wish you might hope, and proves the courage of Gondor, so fresh from the battle that they're still hungry for more. 3,500. Well, okay, that doubles the total then, and a little bit more. Yes, but this must be the greatest jest in all the history of Gondor, Pinelore. We marched to assail the Black Gate and at the impenetrable land of Mordor, and we, with fewer men than might have formed such a vanguard in its army in mighty days. It brings to mind a child threatening a mail-clad knight with a toy bow, or a buzzing fly seeking to sting a man working in the hot sun. The Dark Lord will smile and knock down the child, or squish the fly in his palm, and that will be the end of it. What else is there to do but laugh at the jest? Well, alright, let's go to Elfhelm. Oh, there he is.
Eomer King has given me command of the main force of the Rohirrim.
There are some 3,000 still ahorse. It is to the west world that we will go to hold it against the enemy that is still in Anorion. Alright. So what was that then? 9,500? Not quite 10,000. Well, it's still quite a number, that's for sure. What do you say, Mithrandir?
I think Imrahil has wrongly judged the mind of the Dark Lord.
Imrahil is not wrong that the 7,000 are a mere pittance to the number Sauron housed within the Black Lands, but it seems to me that Imrahil has wrongly judged the Dark Lord. Yes, we go to sting the Dark Lord, but he will not squish us for all our buzzing. No, he will seek to trap the fly and take the sting, all unawares of our deception. On that deception all our fortunes rest. It is the secret fly that bears the most dangerous sting of all for Sauron, and let him remain blind to it until it is too late. Very well.
Our secrecy was born of necessity, but now it must end.
It is time to end our secrecy. How are we going to do that? We have to find that out in the next episode of Lore of the Shadow.